This is why some business owner will not get rich easily. I repeat myself. This is one of the factors that will make some business owner, that is really making them not to get rich. Look at this illustration. Last week, a woman called me and said, hello. I said, hello, who's speaking? And she said, is that GW City Solar? I said, yes. And she asked me, what is your name? And I replied, my name is Kolawole Iyo. Of course, that is my business. And she told me that I want to do solar in my shop. That what is my package? And for me that usually do package of in millions, you have to say, well, I can do 1 kVA for you for 650,000. Then the woman went silent. And I have to say, like, hello, are you still with me? Which she said yes. And I asked her, what is the major problem? She said her husband gave her 300K to buy Jane. But she feel that even with that little amount, she could do a solar that will serve her in her shop. Then I look at her and I say 300K. And I have to tell the woman that honestly, I've never done 300K solar before. But even with a 500,000, I can still come about something. Then the woman starts introducing herself. Say this, I am this. I don't just call your number. I know this, I know that. Then I have to calm down my ego and look at what is that step that I can take to make this woman happy. And believe me, I did something that is unusual. I went on to buy a battery of about 100K, get her 2 small solar panel and a small charge controller with some few cable. Do you know with that 300,000, apart from the fact that I sold those material for her, those components for her, I still earn little from it. Now, after finishing the job by last week, then 2 of our neighbors in the same shop, she now have to call me back for them. And do you know one thing that she did? When those neighbors asked her about how much she does the job, she said to them that she did it for 350,000. Which by default, she feel like adding 50,000 to each of the job at least will make me to feel at least relieved and happy a little bit. Which she has done it right. Of course, this same thing that I did for her for 300K, which I also find a little change with it, I went on to do it for the other 2 shops for 350 in this same week. That was on Tuesday. Between Tuesday and yesterday, Friday, one of those women said to me that her husband is willing to install solar in their house. And now, not just solar of 350,000, but in million. What is now the lesson that I personally learned that I feel like I should tell you is the fact that sometimes it takes you to do little things to meet someone that will give you more money for what you are doing. For that woman who begged me with her 300,000 to install solar system for her, of course, that was all that she had. But through her, I have seen 3 customers already. And out of the 3 customers, 2 have worked with me. And I've gained little that is more than what I did for her. Because by default, she intentionally add 50,000 to what she paid. Which by default, without doing anything, I've already have 100,000 on grant. You can see, just because I was able to come out with small package for her, Of course, at this stage of my life, the least of the solar system I usually do is between 650 800. I don't know her, so I have zero ego. I just feel like, let me solve this woman problem and make her happy. And believe me, with that cheap solar that I did for her, she was able to carry 6 bulb, which is 90 watts. 1 fan, which is 50 watts, but me, I usually rate for 70 watts. And she's charging 2 phones. And in her shop, she has, let's say, a 12-hour light. Because by default, if she gets to shop around 8 a.m., she will start enjoying the light till 9 p.m. That's about 13 hours. And during the day, her fan will be on. Because even what I did for her, 1 panel is enough to charge the battery, but I intentionally give her 2 panels. And why did I give her 2 panels? I gave her the 2 panels because I knew that at the end of the day, even if she's consuming like 200 watts, and I gave her 2 panels that's worth 400 watts, is enough to charge anything that she wants to charge. Because by default, even when the when the sky is not really shining, it will still bring in at least 150 watts. And this you might not understand as an ordinary person, but as an installer, at least the battery will still be charging. So what I realized from this is the fact that sometimes as an artisan, we need to lower our ego, do some small things in order to open a bigger door. Just because I did a job of 300,000 for her, within 1 week, I was able to see 3 recommendations, and 2 already have worked. And 1 is willing to work. And that is it. So with this alone, it's enough to change your mind as an artisan. Tó bá gbéṣẹ́ fún ẹ nígbà míì tí ò bá pí ẹ, tó bá jẹ́ nǹkan tó lè ṣe, tó bá máa yọ change sí lápò, ṣé má ṣègbéraga. Lóòótọ́ ló lè ti máa gbaṣẹ́ millions, ìyẹn ò sọ pé kó má lè gbaṣẹ́ 300. Ó lè jẹ́ nípasẹ̀ iṣẹ́ yẹn ló máa ti pàdé oríire ńlá. And that is it. What I said in Yoruba simply means, if you are a type of person that is doing 1 million job, and suddenly someone came up with 300,000 job, sometimes do it, because you don't know, maybe it's through the job that you are going to meet your major customer. And that is it for the day. Don't forget, my name is Kolawole EO, and the program is GWCT Show. I am also the owner of GWCT Solar. So if you are willing to install solar in your office, home, or shop, kindly reach out to me. It's 070 67 06 7159. It's 070 67 06 7159. Or call my Airtel line, which is 0812 613 9200. Is 0812 613 9200. And that's for that. GWCT loves you.